what's up, dudes? Real quick, this channel is supported by ToneJunkieStore.com. Check us out for all your modeling, capture, and IR needs. We have a huge special during the month of August. All everything packs are $60, including the NAM A2 everything pack. So if you're on one of those units that just adopted NAM A2, come check out ToneJunkieStore.com. Hey, what's up, dudes? How the heck are you doing? HW here. Today we're talking about a HeadRush and some awesome tones you probably already have in your hands and you don't even realize it. I've been making videos about the HeadRush for a while, and a lot of times I get people going, hey, HW, can I get that preset? You can, of course, get Tone Junkie stuff up on the HeadRush cloud, but you may not realize the stuff that I play the most is probably already on your unit, because if you go in the editor here, you can do this from the unit as well. If you come right under here, you have a menu of different presets, right? This new one may have appeared relatively recently. You may not have noticed it, 00 featured. If you go under there, you're here. You've got some new HeadRush stuff from myself, from Signal Tutorials, from the Studio Rats, and everyone made a bunch of really great stuff. And so I think you should definitely check it out. So what is what I'm usually playing, and what did you hear at the intro there? It's a really rare matchless amp. Only about 50 exists, called a Matchless Brave. And you've got like kind of my go-to setting in there. I've got like a pack on my website and stuff, but this is kind of the one that when I turn it on, I just play, right? It's called TJ Brave. Yours is going to be called something a little different, but it's going to be called Match Brave or something. And it's this preset, literally, as I have it here. The only thing I've done is I was messing around with the output level here. And that's what we're going to talk about. So for me, here's how I approach like making tone. I'm looking for a light compressor that I can kind of turn on and sort of get the lovely sound of some compression that just evens out the dynamics a little bit, really give it a little polish. But I still need to feel the guitar. I don't like an overly squashed sound. So what I'm doing right here is I'm using the gray comp. You might be going, HW, gray comp, is that really the most transparent comp? Well, when you come under here, you have the control of the block mix on all of the stuff in the HeadRush, which is a brilliant, absolutely brilliant feature to have. So if you don't like all of that mix, you just bring it down. I often like to bring down, now with a Strat, I sometimes like to leave it up, just depending on what I'm going for, but 2/3 is not a bad kind of place to sit. And then what that gives you is the clack and the attack. But you can hear it's different if I turn it off. It's actually cutting a little bit. So you can hear kind of giving that just tighter kind of feel. I don't mind that. I actually really like it because I think with a little overdrive, right, it gives you a little more just even response. But your miles may vary. Now, then I usually like to go a couple different drive sections. I always love like a tube screamer type thing because it just makes something like this Strat-esque guitar. It's not too dirty, right? It still feels like my guitar responsive. I like the K drive. This is a lovely one that I always like to get a similar kind of thing. Then you might be going, HW, those are all pretty clean. Well, I kind of like the stack drives. That's kind of how I do it. So here's like the Timmy. Now I can stack that with like an 808. I can also stack that with the K drive, and it gives me a little less compression, but it gives me still a really nice sound. hear if I go like K drive, right? Then I get the... But if I turn on that Jimmy... It's, I mean, this is a Strat. That's a heavy enough sound, I think. You know what I mean? I guess in a minute. Let's move on to the delays and verbs. There's something interesting going on here. And this is kind of how I like to do it. I like to set up a stereo delay. You could use one delay block to do this. But I don't know. It just looked fun to like lay it out this way, right? So I basically put an eighth and a dotted eighth on each side, right? So 3/16, dotted eighth. And half the length longer than an eighth. And... basically, it just sounds like this. Now, as long as I remembered to export this in stereo, and as long as you are on something that has a stereo field, you know, your phone might not really do it because the speakers are very close to each other. But if you're in headphones, monitors, whatever, you hear that back and forth. That provides a 3D stereo level field that it just sounds better. I mean, it's just great. It just sounds wide and full. And it's lovely. It really is lovely. Now, you want to get a little more 3D? You go ahead and you click on the chorus, right? Now I've got two different choruses going on each side. Does it make any sense? Probably not. But I was messing around, couldn't decide which one I liked better. I wasn't out of DSP. I figured leave them both in. That's a great sound. I like that. I like to put on some of that drive, put on some drive like we had, and put that chorus on. Now that's not a subtle chorus at all. If you want less of that, you can turn them both down. You could just use one. You could use it in the main line. You could use it before the amp, after the amp. It'll give you different tonality. I thought it was cool to have them on each side. I've done that with other rigs, and I think it usually gets a really cool effect. You get something that you don't get by itself. It becomes like a different type of chorus effect, if that makes sense. Maybe it gets even more like a phasery, flangey kind of thing, because you've got different movement on both sides. But I just think it adds to the stereo field. Why am I putting one in front of the other? I don't know. I think when I was building this, I tried it out and I swore there was a difference. I'm not really sure there is. All right, second delay here. I put on a second delay. Basically what I do, if you remember that eighth and that dotted eighth, I like to always throw on a quarter after it, because it takes the eighth, the dotted eighth, and the initial hit, and it makes a quarter. So you're getting a quarter, you're getting the eighth, which then repeats a quarter after itself, which makes it, it makes it 5/8, which... it sounds like that. It's a horse galloping. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how you do the math on that. All right, let me. It helps that now when you get into these bigger delay times, you really got to tap it in, right? In a mix, that really gives the guitar just this bigger sort of, I don't know, almost like you're getting closer to that Brian Eno wall of sound type of thinking, right? Where there's just a ton going on. It's the edge. It's that sort of thing. And in a mix, it really lifts the guitar and makes it this fuller thing. You know what it really does to me? It makes the guitar waveform flatter and fuller because there's more going on, but it doesn't make it synthy and sawtooth. See, in order to get a thicker waveform, usually you'd get more distorted, more compressed, more stuff. But what you instead get when you add all these repeated notes is you still have the edges really like up like this, but you just get more like more bandwidth, if that makes sense. You have all these repeating things. And when you're in a very tight tonality, like I'm all playing right here and I'm just like mimicking first position chords, you know, an octave up. And there's a lot of repeating chords, right? It's like all those voicings have like a very common tonality to them, right? I use reverb a lot. I really like reverb. I'm one of those worship kids who can't get away from the reverb, right? So I have been learning a lot about the reverb in the HeadRush. Now, initially I was like, oh, where's my big sky type thing? And then people turned me on to the C-verb and I started using that. But I've actually really just started liking the built-in here verb that is the 11 reverb 2, the cathedral. And what I do is I basically stack it with my concert hall. So I have this, I can turn my reverb off, and it's in this preset. You can turn it off, right? So here's I'm going to turn off the delay here, and it's the sound of my verb. It's just like this. So I could turn that off. I mean, man, that just sounds so dry. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like the... That hits my ears like there's almost no effect on it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just love that verb. So now I turn on the ambient verb, and it sounds like this. And that's beautiful and lovely, you know, in and of itself. But if you want to get the big sort of sound and delay thing, I like to turn on all that stuff. So I turn on my big delay, my other two delays, and you kind of start to get this really ambient thing where, you know, you've got this. That kind of thing becomes really nice for volume swells too. It's not the type of thing you could just hit a big chord. Big chords aren't really going to work. I mean, maybe that works for, you know, whatever you're doing. I mean, there are no rules, you know, it's just context is what matters here. But what people really like to do is do the whole swell thing. So you can get like this sort of thing. That's something I would usually do with a volume pedal, but I've got my HeadRush up on the desk, so I'm using my knob right now. But it'd be cleaner with the volume pedal, and you can make a really great. I mean, that can sound easily like some sort of an organy type of synth thing in a pinch, you know, or just to add a layer onto a track. So it's super useful. And that's really how I like to build my rig. I like to be able to treat a unit like this as a pedal board sometimes, where I want all my effects to be kind of modular, but I want them all to work at the same time. Like, I'm not really that interested in having effects that only work if I do it in tandem with something else. Now, sometimes that's cool. It's cool, but I like just in the effort of creativity, you can see here how I've just been randomly combining things, and it's always going to work. If you want that same kind of sound, but you want chorus on it, right? You can get that. You can just kind of go wherever you want, and that's what I really love. NAMM sounds amazing on this unit. This thing has quickly jumped into, you know, a top spot for me. This is awesome. NAMM is awesome. HeadRush is super awesome, and I've been HW.